Hey guys, Mr. Gary here with a little lesson about fats. So, fats are lipids. They're in the category of lipids, which is a macro or large molecule. And macromolecules are big molecules made up of smaller things linked together. So, fats are made up of this. A glycerol molecule, which is essentially in the middle 3 carbon atoms linked together, and then some fatty acids. So what is a fatty acid? This. It's a long, what we call hydrocarbon chain. Do you see that? The black is carbon, the white is hydrogen, and that's why we call it a hydrocarbon chain. And you see how it makes kind of like zigzags on the way up? That's going to come into importance in a little bit. On the top, there is a carboxyl group. Carbon, double bonded to oxygen with an OH. Okay, OH. And that is where it's going to connect to the carbons of the glycerol. So a fatty acid is one fatty acid will connect here, one fatty acid will connect here, and one will connect there. Okay, so let's take a look at what that looks like. Reality is, glycerol molecules have an OH, an oxygen and a hydrogen right there where they can connect to a fatty acid. And there's the fatty acid. Now, scientists draw zigzags up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down for the fatty acids to represent the carbon atoms kind of zigzagging in this long chain. They kind of zigzag, okay? So when they connect, and watch this, when they connect, we're going to take an OH, pop it off, okay? And from this side, we're gonna take the H from that carboxyl group we discussed, pop that off, and look what we have. H2 of them, hydrogen, 2 of them, and 1 oxygen, and that's H2O. Pop, pop, pop. I wrote that sideways, but that's H2O. That's a water molecule. And we're gonna do that again here, making another water molecule, popping it off. And we're going to do that again here, making another water molecule and popping that off. Sorry about my lousy arrows there. And then what we have is a tri, meaning three triglyceride. 1, 2, 3. All right, and that is the fat that's floating around in your blood when you eat something fatty like bacon. Okay, so that's the triglyceride. Now, you may have heard before about saturated versus unsaturated fats. Well, let's talk about that right now. Saturated is this. It is filled with hydrogen atoms. Now, if you can imagine, if I pop one of these off, okay, all right, and I could connect, or if I connect and make a double bond here, I should have used longer bonds. One moment. I'll just hold it there. We could connect, and that makes a double bond, one there and one where I'm holding it together, and that makes a kink or a bend in the fatty acid. So this is unsaturated or unfilled with hydrogen atoms. Remember, the hydrogens are the white ones. So if we pop off a couple hydrogen atoms, we can make double bonds, which make bends in the fatty acid. Once again, pop off a couple hydrogen atoms, it can make double bonds, which make bends. Now it's not filled with hydrogen. It is unsaturated or not filled with hydrogens. Okay, so a saturated fat, when it's filled up with hydrogen atoms, is bad for you. Now, why is that? Well, they tend to stack in our bodies. They become part of cholesterol, which builds up in our arteries, which are our blood vessels, and it slows down the blood flow and can make clogs and stoppages, okay? When we add a double bond, if I were to pop off hydrogens, 1, 2, and link those together, right, making a double bond there, that makes a bend. Now, this doesn't stack as nicely. It doesn't stack nice and flat. So what we see in unsaturated or monounsaturated fats is we get these bended fatty acids that don't stack very well, and they're healthier. So those are liquid fats. This is peanut butter I bought from the store. And if I shake it, you can see that it has an oil in there. Do you see that? Oil floating on the top. So if I could read the ingredients here, it says ingredients, organic peanuts. That's it, organic peanuts. The only thing that's in this is ground peanuts, and it naturally makes an oil that rises to the top. So this is healthy. This is a healthy type of fat. This is unsaturated fat, which is good. It's not filled with hydrogens. You don't want your fats filled with hydrogens. But people said, you know what? I don't like mixing the fat. And companies and corporations said, we're gonna make a smooth peanut butter that you don't have to mix. This one you have to mix the oil with the peanut bits to make it a nice smooth peanut butter. So they said, we'll make a nice smooth peanut butter. Everybody knows Skippy, right? The knife goes right in, it spreads on the bread so nice and easy. There's no pre-mixing and messy oil splattering around. So what we did is we took the good oils that you see floating here, the unsaturated, and we added hydrogen atoms. Now, what is that called? It's called hydrogenation or hydrogenation. Now, listen to this ingredient list. First, peanuts. Okay, we expect that in peanut butter. The second one, sugar. So they're adding sugar, which, as we should know, simple sugars are not good for our diets. And the third ingredient, which means it's the third most likely, is hydrogenated or hydrogenated vegetable oil. So they took the good oil, added hydrogen atoms, and made it bad for you. So they added sugar, not good for your health, and they added hydrogenated oils, which is also bad for your health. So that process of hydrogenation, we did it just because we're lazy and we want spreadable peanut butter. We're making ourselves unhealthy for simplicity and the ease of making a nice PB&J sandwich. And that to me is crazy.